Hey, third grade. I wanted to make you a video today about time. I know that some of you struggled with that. It was a little bit ago that you did that in class, but I do want to go over it with you just to make sure you understand it. In your book, it's chapter 13, if you wanted to follow along with me. I'm using the book that we have access to online as teachers, so just bear with me as I'm trying to go back and forth between screens real quick. So the first page I'm on is chapter 13, lesson 1, and it says Stella sets her alarm for the time shown on the clock. What time is it? Well, the first thing you need to know are a couple things. The first thing is the shorthand equals the hour. When you're looking at a clock and it's an analog clock, not a digital one, the shorthand is what's going to tell you the hour. The longhand tells you the minutes. Okay, so it says the shorter hand tells the hour hand is past 6, but not yet at 7. This means the hour is 6. So when you're looking at time, you want to make sure you look very carefully at where the hour hand is. So I'm going to do my best to do this without the book to show you. So it is not going to be totally perfect, but we'll make do. So if I have a clock like this, and this is not a perfect clock, but it's okay. It'll do the job. 9, 10, 11. When you have a clock, the short hour we just talked about goes to, not the short hour, the shorthand goes to the hour. So on the example, it looks like it's right about here. It's not yet to 7. If it's not to 7 yet, you look right here, right before it, and it has to be 6 o'clock. The longer hand tells the minutes. When you're counting minutes, you count by 5s. So the 1 actually equals 5. The 2 equals 10. The 3 equals 15. And all those are minutes. The 4 is 20 minutes. The 5 is 25 minutes. The 6 is 30 minutes. The 7 is 35 minutes. 8 is 40 minutes. 9 is 45 minutes. 10 is 50 minutes. 11 is 55. And when you get to 12, it's a new hour, okay? So 1 hour equals 60 minutes. You need to know that. 1 hour equals 60 minutes. So what I want you to know from this first lesson is that a shorthand is the hour, longhand is the minutes, and you count by 5 to figure out the minutes. You can also look in between these 5s, and they have little tiny marks, which equals 1 minute. You have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 between each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's easier to start counting by 5s, and once you get to the number, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11, that's closest to the minute hand, that's when you start counting by 1s. So in just a minute, I'll erase all of this and show you what I mean. Standard form is if you write a time like this, which is what they were showing you in your book. That's called standard form. We would read that as 6:42, or you could say it's 18 minutes before 7 or 42 minutes after 6. So let me tell you another thing you need to know really quickly. You need to know that a half hour is 30 minutes. And a quarter hour is 15 minutes. So those are super important, and I need you guys to know those before we can even get to the elapsed time, which I know is the struggle. So let's look at page 277. So I'm going to clear this. If you need to pause to get it all down, you can. I'm going to clear our page. Let's look at page 277 together. It tells you to write the time in standard form. So if they have something like this, 5:30. 5 is going to be the hour, 5:30. Well, think back to what we just said, a half an hour. 5:30 is 5:30. If we said 8 minutes, and I'm going to abbreviate minutes, after 6. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the stylus. 6 is going to be our hour, so we're going to put that first. 8 minutes is going to go in the minute part. Now, 8 is a 1-digit number, so I'm going to put a 0 here, then an 8. 8 is our ones place. The 0 is our tens place. 8 is only in the ones place here. So that's how you would write some of these in standard form. I'm not going to do all of them with you. The little clock that they show you underneath, they give you a clock that says this. This is how you are more probably used to seeing this because you see things on a phone or a watch, and that's how you usually see time. This is digital time. So if we were looking at this, they have this one, and this one. They give us 3 times there. They don't give us the option of saying 3:17 or 3:37 or 3:43. They want us to do a little bit of math to figure it out. So let's find the one that goes with this one, 3:17. Our options are 17 minutes before 4, 23 minutes before 4, or 17 minutes after 3. I know that 3:17 is 17 minutes after 3. So I'm going to kind of abbreviate it right here. 17 minutes after 3. So then we get to 3:37. So I'm left with 23 minutes before 4 or 17 minutes before 4. If we know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes, we can take the 60 minutes minus the 37 minutes we already have to figure out how many more minutes till we get to 4 o'clock. So we have to borrow. We're going to make that a 10 and that a 5. 10 minus 7 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. So this means there are 23 minutes until 4 o'clock, till the next hour, right? So that means that B is going to be our answer. 23 minutes before 4. So then this one would have to be 17 minutes before 4. I'm going to finish it down here. Okay, so these are different ways to say 3:17, 3:37, and 3:43. You're not likely going to hear these in real life, but it is important to know how to say these. Let's look down at number 16. I'm going to clear this page. Remember to pause it if you need to see it for a longer time. It tells us on number 16, what are the other ways of naming 1:45? A says a quarter after 1. Well, a quarter is 15 minutes. So a quarter after 1 would be 1:15. So that's not going to work. B says 15 minutes before 2. So if I know 1 hour is 60 minutes and I take away 15 minutes, I'm left with 45 minutes. So 15 minutes before 2 would work for this one. So we're going to say yes on B. C is 45 minutes after 1. That works. And D is a quarter before 2. Okay, so a quarter before 2 means that there's 15 minutes left until 2 o'clock. So that works. And then for E, 1:30. Well, half is 30 minutes past 1. That would be 1:30, so that doesn't work. Okay, so all lesson 1 wants you to learn is basically how to tell time, and then also how to tell time in different ways instead of just saying it's 6:43 or it's 6:42 or whatever. So next, let's go to elapsed time because that's what we seem to be really struggling with, and it is hard. So if you are struggling with it, don't worry. Let's look at page 278. It says, the clocks show the time that Joe starts and ends his band practice this afternoon. How long is Joe's band practice? Elapsed time is the amount of time between two given times. So if we have two times, we can figure out how much time is in between them. So the first one they give us is his start time. So we're going to write start. It says you can use the clocks to find elapsed time. Start at 4:15 and count the hours to 6:15. Well, first we need to look at the clock. If you look at the clock, the hour hand is after the 4, so we know that the hour is 4, and the minute hand is on the 3, which means 15 minutes. So he starts at 4:15. He ends, the hour hand is in between the 6 and the 7, so we go with what's before it, and which is a 6. And the minute hand is on the 5, which means that it is 6:25. So he starts practice at 4:15 and he ends it at 6:25. So we start with 4:15 and we count the hours first. You want to count your hours before you even get to the minutes. So if we go 4:15 to 5:15, that's 1 hour. Let's go to 6:15. That's another hour. We don't want to go to 7:15 because that's too far. So we're going to get as close as we can by counting the hours. So when we get to 6:15, we need to get next to 6:25. So let's count up from 15 to 25. Let's count by 5s because it makes it a lot easier than counting by 1s. 15, 20, 25. So that's 2 fingers, which means it's actually 10 minutes. Another way to do it is if you're in the same hour, we didn't switch hours, we can do 25 minutes minus 15 minutes and get 10 minutes. So this amount of time between 6:15 and 6:25 is 10 minutes. So then let's count our hours. 1, 2. I'm going to erase my math right here so I can write that. So far we have 2 hours, and then the minutes we have is 10. So 2 hours and 10 minutes is how long he does practice. Okay. Look at the bottom of 278. It says a day can be separated into AM and PM. So you use AM if it's after 12 o'clock midnight when you're sleeping, or before 12 o'clock noon, which is about the time you go to recess. PM is any time after recess and before midnight, okay? So you guys are pretty good with that, AM and PM. I think you're okay. Let's practice a couple on page 279. See if I can make this a little bit clearer. On page 279, let's go to number 3 because it's harder for me to do the clocks on here. So we start at 12:18 p.m. and we're going to end at 12:39 p.m. These are actually the easy ones. If you have the same hour, so we are staying in between the 12 o'clock hour, all we have to do is take 39 and subtract it for 18. We're finding the difference, and remember the difference is subtracting. So 9 minus 8 is 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. So the elapsed time is 21 minutes. Now this little trick only works if I'm staying with the same hour. It doesn't work if I'm going to another hour. So that's the first way you can do it. Another way we can do it is count up by 10 minutes. So 12:18, 10 more minutes would be 12:28. So that's 10 minutes. 28 plus 10 more minutes is 12:38. So that's 10 more minutes. Now I can't go 10 more minutes because that would be 12:48 and that's not where I'm going. So I need to stop at 12:38 and go 1 more minute to 12:39. Now let's count up my minutes. 10, 20, 21. So 21 minutes. So I get 21 minutes either way. The quicker way is to subtract it, but it only works if you have the same hour. So let's do another one. I'm just going to put S for start and E for end. Start at 4:26 p.m. End at 4:55 p.m. So I'm going to show you both ways. We're in the same 4 o'clock hour, so I can take the bigger time and subtract the smaller time. Can't do 5 minus 6, so I need to make that 15 and make that 4. Let's count up from 6 to 15. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 9. 4 minus 2 is 2. So that's 29 minutes. Now let's do it the other way because you can't always do that if it's not the same hour number. So let's start at 4:26 and let's go up by 10-minute increments. So from 4:26 to 4:36 is 10 minutes. I'm just going to put an M to make it faster. 4:36 to 4:46 is another 10 minutes. Now, we can't go to 4:56 because that's too far. So let's count up 46 to 47. I'm actually going to change that really quick. I'm going to have to come down a little bit. So 4:46 to 4:47, 4:48, 4:49, 4:50, 4:51, 4:52, 4:53, 4:54, and finally 4:55. So we have our 10 minutes and 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes. Now we're going to count up by 1 minute. So 20, I'm going to use red here. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I still get 29 minutes there. It's just a lot faster to do the subtraction way. So let's do one where the subtraction doesn't work. This start is 9:13 a.m. and we're going to end at 10 a.m. Okay, so you don't have to put the little zeros after that one, but you can if you want. So if we're going from 9:13 to 10, let's first try to get to 9:15 because we know that if we get to 9:15, we can count by 15 minutes to finish off. So let's go from 9:13 to 9:15. Anytime you're doing time, if you can count by 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 30 minutes or 10 minutes, you're good. So if we can get to 9:15, that's 2 minutes. Now we know that from 9:15, if I have my clock and I have 12, 3, 6, 9, so we have 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10. Okay, so there's just a quick little clock. If we start at 9:15 right here, and let's count up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 minutes. So from 9:15, I started at the 3 and I counted by 5s all the way to my 12. That's 45 minutes. Let's add that to the 2 minutes I already have. So I get 47 minutes. Okay. So this time we could not do our little thing where we do the subtracting. So we have to start at 9:15, which 15 is always on the 3. Now to get to 9:15, we counted up for 2 minutes. Then we counted by 5s till the 12, got 45 minutes, added that to our 2 minutes, and we get 47 minutes. Okay, so let's try another one. This time, let's go from 8:27 for start, and we're going to end at 8:53. So let me show you a different way to do this. Like I just told you, you want to get to 15 or 30 minutes. So from 8:27 to 8:30 is 3 minutes. Then we can say 8:30, 8:40 is 10 minutes. To 8:50 is 10 more minutes. Then to get from 8:50 to 8:53 is 3 minutes. So I'm going to use red and let's circle. We got 3 minutes, 10, 10, and 3. Let's start with 10. 10 plus 10 is 20, plus 3 is 23, plus another 3 is 26. So 26 minutes. And this one would work if we did 53 minus 27. We need to borrow 13. So let's count up 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6. 4 minus 2 is 2. Okay. So let's do one more. Let's do a harder one. And then I think we might move on after this one. So let's do a start at 11:09 and an end at 1:43. So 11:09. Best way to start this is by hours. So 1 hour is 12:09 to 1:09 is another hour. Now from 1:09, I can't go to 2:09. That's too far. So let's get it to 1:10 because it's going to be a lot easier to deal with. From 1:09 to 1:10 is 1 minute. Now we can go from 1:10 to 1:20, 10 more minutes. 1:20 to 1:30 is 10 more minutes. 1:30 to 1:40 is 10 more minutes. And then from 1:40 to 1:43 is 3 minutes. So I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use blue, and let's circle up all our increments. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's start with our hours. We have 2 hours. Now let's add up our minutes. So 10, 20, 30, 33, 34. So we would say that's 2 hours and 34 minutes. Okay, that's how long elapsed between those time periods. Let's actually try one more like this one. Let's do 4:53 as our start and our end 7:17, and both of those are PM. Okay, so 4:53 to 5:53 is 1 hour. 5:53 to 6:53 is another hour. Now we can't go to 7:53. Let's get to our next hour. I know 53 minutes is only 7 minutes away from 7 o'clock. So 7 o'clock to get to that next hour is 7 minutes. Now to get to 7 to 7:17 is only 17 minutes. So now we can add them up. Hour, hour, 17 minutes, 7 minutes. So we start with 2 hours, and then let's go up here and do 17 plus 7, 24 minutes. So 2 hours and 24 minutes. Okay, that's how far we went. So I hope that kind of helped with elapsed time. Let's look at the rest of the chapter and see what they give us. Okay, let's look at start and end times. So now I'm going to be on page 282. So this one says, Raja starts her jog in the morning at the time shown on the clock. She will jog for 35 minutes. What time will Raja finish jogging? You can make a number line. Start with the time 5:35. Well, first off, you have to be able to read the clock. The hour hand is in between the 5 and the 6, so we know that the hour is 5, and it's right at the 7, so that's 35 minutes. We want to figure out how long, not how long, we know how long, but what time she's going to finish jogging. So she's going to jog for 35 minutes. So we need to go from 5:35. Now we can't just add 35 and 35 because that's going to be more than an hour. So that's not going to work. So we're going to skip count. So look at what it says. Start the number line at 5:35. So we're going to say that that's where our number line starts, right here. The elapsed time is less than 1 hour, so make the number line go to 6:35. So we're going to put 6:35 over here, and we're going to see if I can make it fit. Count 35 minutes from 5:35. So what you do is you look at each part of it as 5 minutes. So we're going to go to 5:35, 5:40, 5:45, 5:50, 5:55, 6 o'clock, 6:05, 6:10, and we're going to have to kind of squeeze it all in here. 6:15, 6:20, 6:25, 6:30, 6:35. Okay, so they made an hour and they put in the times as 5 minutes. So we're skip counting by 5. So we're going to skip count to 35 minutes starting at 5:35. So we're going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So when I count all the way until I get to, we read this backwards, sorry. She will jog for 35 minutes. Hold on, we read that. Well, I read that totally backwards. Oh, no, we didn't. Sorry, we're right. She finished jogging at 6:10 a.m. Sorry, I missed that part. So 6:10. So we made an increment, a line chart, or a line plot of 5:35 to 6:35, and we're counting by 5 minutes. So we're going to count by 5 minutes till we get to that magic 35-minute mark. That minute mark ends on 6:10. So then the next part, it says the next day Raja jogs for 40 minutes. She finishes jogging at 6:35. So we know she stopped at 6:35. We have to go backwards. So I'm going to clear this, and we're going to try to make a chart fit. We're going to go 5:35. 5:40, 5:45, 5:50, 5:55, 6 o'clock, 6:05, 6:10, 6:15, 6:20, 6:25, 6:30. Where do they end? 6:35. Okay, so we ended at 6:35. She jogged for 40 minutes. So let's go backwards to figure out what time she started. So we're going to skip count backwards till we get to 40 minutes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we stopped at 40 minutes and that ends at 5:55. So that's when she started. So let's look at ones on the next page. On this one, they give you 7:10. They want to know what is 45 minutes after 7:10. A lot of the times you can just do 7:10 plus the 45 minutes. 10 plus 45 equals 7:55. Those are the easy ones. It doesn't always work like that though. Here's another one, 8:07. I know that 7 plus 45 is less than 60. If it's less than 60, you're good. So let's do 45 minutes plus 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that means 8:52 would be 45 minutes after 8:07. Those kinds are easier because they're very low in numbers and you can add the 45 minutes. It won't always work like that though. Let's look at the next one. The next one they give me, looking at the clock, is 10:35. Well, let me show you what happens if I do that. If I do 35 plus 45 minutes, that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 80. Well, there's no such thing as 1080, right? That's not going to work. So I can't do that. So if we're going to go from 10:35 and we want to go 45 minutes, let's skip count up 45 minutes. So 10:35 to 10:40 is 5 minutes. 10:40 to 10:45 is 5 more minutes. To 10:50 is 5 more minutes. 10:55 is 5 more minutes. 11 is 5 more minutes. Let's see how many minutes we have so far. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I got to get to 45. So 11:05 is 5 more minutes. 11:10 is 5 more minutes. Okay, let's see how many we have now. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So let's go 2 more times to 11, 15, and 11:20. So 11:20 is your answer. Let me show you a better way to do this. If I have 10:35, let's count up 40 minutes from that. So 35 to 10:45 is 10 minutes. And I'm going to erase this so I can have some room to show you. 10:45 to 10:55 is 10 minutes. Now 10:55 to 11 is 5 minutes. 11 to 11:10 is 10 minutes. So now we have 10, 20, 30, 35. So let's go to 11:20 for 10 more minutes. So now I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 minutes. So you can just count up by these increments until you get to what you need to get to. Let's try another one they give you. They give you one that says at 7:36 is when it starts. It lasts, now this is different from the last chapter, 35 minutes. So if we go to 7:36 to 7:46 is 10 minutes. To 7:56 is 10 minutes. So now I'm at 20 minutes. 7:56 to the next hour, 8 o'clock, is 4 minutes. So now I'm at 10, 20, 24 minutes. I need to get to 35 minutes, so let's see how far I have to go. I need 11 more minutes. So now let's go to 8:10, which is 10 minutes, and then to 8:11 is 1 minute. So we did 10, 20, 30, 34, 35, which is exactly what we wanted. So we counted up 35 minutes. I started off with 10 minutes till I got to 8 o'clock. Then I did 7:56 to 8 o'clock is 4 minutes. Then 10 minutes to 8:10 plus 1 more minute to 8:11. So that gives me my 35 minutes at 8:11. Okay, let's look at the next part they give you, which I think says operations with time. Give me just a minute to get it loading. All right, so let's look at page 284 to end this little lesson we did. Doug wakes up at the time shown on the clock. It takes him 24 minutes to get ready to leave for school, and then takes him 17 minutes to walk to school. How many minutes from the time he wakes up does Doug take to arrive at school? When does he arrive at school? We're not going to do the bar model. You're just going to count it up with me. So we first need to see what time is on the clock. So let's look. Let's see what time he wakes up. The hour hand is in between the 6 and the 7. So it's 6 o'clock. The minute hand is on the 45. So he wakes up at 6:45. Then it takes him 24 minutes to get ready to leave for school. So if he wakes up at 6:45, let's count up 24 minutes. So 6:45 to 6:55 is 10 minutes. 6:55 to 7:05 is 10 minutes. So look at what I did from 6:55 to 7:05. It only goes up to 59 minutes really before it goes to the next hour. So 6:55 plus 5 minutes will get me to 7. 5 minutes more gets me to 7:05. That'll come as you get more practice. So 10 and 10 is 20 minutes. I know that it takes him 24 minutes to get ready. So 7:05 plus 4 minutes is 7:09. So at 7:09, he is ready to go for school. Then at 7:09, he starts walking to school, and it takes him 17 minutes. So let's go by tens first. So 7:09 to 7:19 is 10 minutes, and it only takes him 17 minutes. So we need to go 7 more. So let's go up by 5 first. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 7:24 is 5 minutes. So that's 15 minutes total. 24, 25, 26 is our last 2 minutes. So 10 plus 5 is 15 plus 2 is 17. Now they gave me 17 minutes, so that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that time right there, which is 7:26. Okay, so these are how you would do these. I'm going to do one more with you, and then I'm going to end the video and let you guys practice if you need to. Let's do number 4 on the next page. It says Alexandria phoned her aunt and her grandmother. The first call was made at 11:36 a.m. and the second call ended. So we're going to say first. I'm going to erase this actually. I want to write a little bit more. The first started at 11:36. The second ended at 12:15. So AM here, PM here. We went from 11:36 to 12:15. That crossing over 12 is PM. Alexandria spoke with her aunt for 16 minutes, okay? So her aunt was 16 minutes. That was the first phone call. So we need to go from 11:36 and we need to count up 16 minutes. Let's count up 10 minutes first and get to 11:46. So that's 10 minutes. Let's count up 5 more minutes. 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. 11:51, and then 1 more minute to 11:52. So she stopped talking to her aunt at 11:52. Then she calls her grandmother, and we know that her grandmother's phone call lasts from 11:52 to 12:15. So we need to figure out how many minutes that is. So from 11:52, let's go to the next hour. So 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, next hour, which is 12 o'clock. So that's 8 minutes. And then from 12 to 12:15 is easy. That's 15 minutes. So we have 15 minutes plus 8 minutes, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So her second phone call lasted 23 minutes. I am actually going to do one more with you to make sure we got that. Let's do number 7. A show started at 8:05 p.m. and ended at 7:40 p.m. There was a 15-minute intermission that started at 7:10 p.m. So all we're doing right now is kind of writing down any notes. If you don't know what an intermission is, it's like a little break. How many minutes long was the play? So we can't count all of it because 15 minutes of it was the intermission. So that's not part of the play. So I think I just read the wrong problem. Sorry. So oh my gosh, sorry. Back that up. I just read half of one problem and half of another problem. Sorry. We said that we were going to do let's do number 7. Sorry. A show started at 8:05, ended at 8:40. There were 9 minutes of commercials. During the show. How many minutes long was the actual show? So we know that from 8:05 to 8:40, the show was on, including commercials. So let's count up by 5s until we get to 8:40. So 8:05, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So we get 7, which is 35 on the clock. So see what I did there? I counted up 5 minutes and I got 7 when I counted up on my fingers. Think about what 7 means on the clock. It means 35 minutes. So if the whole thing was 35 minutes, we need to take away the 9 minutes of commercials. So let's borrow 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the actual show was only 26 minutes. Okay? So sorry I messed that last one up. I was reading 2 different ones at the same time. If you have any questions on any of these, you can email me or I can see you at school if you're not virtual and see how I can help you. But I do hope this helps a little bit because I do know some of you were struggling. So if you have any help or any questions, just ask me for help. Bye, guys.